and welcome to Robot Carnage and the second semi-final. 4 more robots who have made it through will battle it out for those 2 remaining places in the grand final. Who will take them? Time to find out and see their journey so far. Trillium has not had the best journey, but it's been a successful one. After Rotator taking them out, they did very well to break the ice and then out-dancing Disco Inferno. Their reliability has improved, but I don't know if the weapon has. Tombstone, who manages to lose its armour, proves it is capable of giving out some serious damage by destroying Sparks twice. As long as they stay away from the arena walls, they ought to do well here in the semi-final. Xerox has had a steady progress by taking out Siren before being flipped out of the arena by Atomic. They took on Siren once more to beat them again to send them into the semi-final. The Axe can dish out the hits, but it also likes to attack thin air. And Lambda joins the lineup with 2 solid wins against Penance and Mischief by pitting them both. The disc is powerful enough to knock the opposition away, but not enough to do any real damage, which will be telling going forward. Tombstone's blade will be facing the axe blows of Xerox. This should be an interesting one. And then we have Trillium's grabber facing the disc of Lambda. So let the carnage begin. Tombstone. That blade of Tombstone has proved to be the best spinner in the competition. Able to cleave off chunks of armour makes it a very feared machine. Xerox. More luck than skill getting through because of its inaccurate attacks, but its opponent is an open target to get some serious damage in.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate!
Bit of a slow start there, but Tombstone going in for the attack, and Xerox once again hitting thin air like it did in the previous rounds. And immediately a panel has come off, Tombstone spinning, and the other panel has come off as well, and now Xerox managed to get the weapon in, and what was that just flew into the pit? It was a piece of armour from Xerox! It just... Oh, what a hit, that was brilliantly aimed. With the disc spinning, Tombstone just backed up and then slammed the barrier, spinning all the way into the pit. And now Xerox seems to be stuck. Are they okay? Are they immobilised? No, they are moving. And Tombstone has lost a panel already, and Xerox has taken advantage of that, slamming into the top of the axe. You can see here, just bang, throws its the other panel as well, throws its own panel off, and that leaves them very vulnerable. And Xerox comes in onto the top of that exposed area, almost hitting the receiver as well. If that goes, Tombstone is out. Xerox going in with a couple of good slams, and Tombstone spinning that blade up again. Xerox definitely taking advantage of that. They are trying everything they can to stop that blade from spinning up. Tombstone managing to get away, hitting the armour again and sending it across the room. That was a little bit close to the arena, and now Xerox seems to be a little bit stuck. They're stuck on the panel of Tombstone. Like what's happened before, the panel seems to be just there for distraction, but also good for pinning the opponent. Not sure if that's what they want, but it's happening anyway. And Xerox, once again, they're hitting thin air, while Tombstone's doing everything they can to try and knock some more armor off. Xerox's axe is just constantly spinning, trying to hit the floor, and not necessarily their opponent. You're meant to hit your opponent, and that's a good couple of slams on the top and on the frame, really. It's hitting the blade, but it doesn't seem to be doing an awful lot of damage. Xerox slamming into the wall again, Tombstone coming in, and they seem to be a little bit wary of what to do. There's no real aggression, they just seem to be going around, although Xerox is managing to bounce off of the walls. The Tombstone pushing them around, the blade still going, and the axe just missing. Tombstone still bouncing off the walls. Why are you bouncing off the walls? Come on! Attack! Oh, and Xerox, they're very close to the pit. Can Tombstone get them in? They just have to get them in. One final push, and Xerox are in! They didn't even need assistance. The axe was swinging. Tombstone were close enough to try and get them in. They did go for it, and Xerox just spun its wheels and backed into the pit, which puts Tombstone through to the next round, and Xerox having to fight for redemption. Well, it was that sign of a fight, really, wasn't it?
Cease!
A good back and forth battle, but Tombstone march on with Xerox being left behind. Time to see if Trillium has what it takes to take down Lambda's unbeaten record. Lambda. That huge disc on the top of Lambda hasn't really been too effective thus far, but that shouldn't stop him from at least trying to cause some damage in this battle.
Trillium.
The reliability on this bot is prone to cutting out, and so much damage has been done to that claw. Trillium needs to be wary as they face their third spinning weapon.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
And Trillium going in for a box rush and slamming Lambda against the barrier. Didn't even hesitate, just up and over, slamming into the barrier and stopping that disc. It's going to be very important. They know their weapon is exposed, the weapon servo, so they'll want that disc stopped completely. A piece of armor going flying from Lambda, and Trillium following them all around the arena, pushing them into every single corner, and Lambda are not managing to get anything done. They are struggling to get an attack lined up. Trillium are far too powerful. That push of theirs is definitely causing them problems, and you can see here, trying to go up the ramp, bounced off the front, and another piece of armor went flying. Trillium are definitely on top here. Lambda struggling to cause any damage whatsoever. The blade is big enough to cause some problems, and oh, that was so close to the pit. And Lambda keep it very close and managing to get away. And Trillium have flipped Lambda! Just got underneath the ramp, up the back, slamming against the barrier, and over it went. And I don't think Lambda are able to self-right. They don't have any lever or lifter, it's just that disc. And now Trillium going in for a couple of attacks with the claw, maybe try and cause a little bit of damage to the underbelly, see for something they can expose. And there goes the 10-second countdown. Lambda are being counted out, they can't self-right, and it's Trillium that's going to go through to the next round, leaving Lambda beaten and broken.
Cease.
Some impressive driving from Trillium now pits them against Tombstone, while Lambda licks its wounds to face off against Xerox. Whoever wins this next fight earns their place in the grand final.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
For a place in the grand final, Trillium get into the back of Tombstone, and there goes a piece of armor. Got up the back of Tombstone and shoved it into the barrier, blade first, and the power was strong enough to knock the two panels off the back of Tombstone. And that will tell, that's major damage, and the top panel comes off once more. And Tombstone trying to get away from Trillium. They're not as strong as they are. But Trillium definitely has the better drive and the more control, trying to maybe flip Tombstone, try and push them against the barrier, because if they can get them pinned, that's it. That is Tombstone out. They can't get down, and they flip them over, but Tombstone can run both ways up. Or can they? The blade's spinning, but the wheels are not. Okay, they are moving. The blade is still going. There is a little bit of movement, but there's not a lot. Trillium doing all the work, all the shoving around, all the bullying. Keeping that claw up just to prevent it from other attacks in case the blade connects. And Tombstone is stopped. They have actually properly stopped. There's no movement in the wheels, the weapon's still spinning, and the timer is going down on Tombstone. And that leaves Trillium going through to the grand final.
Cease.
Trillium have made it through to the grand final, leaving Tombstone having to fight for it again. Will they face Xerox once more, or take on Lambda for a battle of the spinners?
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Lambda against Xerox. Whoever wins this fights Tombstone for a shot at the grand final. And Xerox coming in with the axe, slamming onto the top of Lambda, and Lambda aren't able to get that disc up, and Xerox are actually attacking the blade, stopping it from spinning. This is not how I thought this would go. I thought Lambda would maybe have this easy, but no, Xerox are the one doing all the attacking. Lambda seems to be a little bit confused. Is there drive problems? Something wrong internally? Xerox, definitely all the attack with them, just sort of dancing around. Not quite sure What's going on? Are both of them okay? And there goes a paddle off the side of Xerox. Finally, the disc has managed to do some damage. And there goes the other panel. Now Xerox's wheels are completely exposed. And yet, that really has seemed to give them a little bit more control of their drive. And the axe slamming onto the back of Lambda is getting and onto the disc, and the disc is managing to connect. They're not doing too much damage. After taking off the panels, it can't seem to do anything else. And very close to the pit. Both of them are. Maybe one wrong piece of driving could end up with both of them in, and ooh, that was very close, Lambda. And Xerox still slamming onto the top of that disc, stopping it from moving. This, by the looks of it, is Xerox's fight to lose here. Lambda not managing to get that blade spinning up at all. And it's so close, and it's in the pit! Lambda have ended in the pit! They couldn't do anything. The wheels were spinning, but no one was really at home. The wheel just got over the edge of the pit, spun in, and that was it. And way a piece of armor went flying off. But it's Xerox to go through to meet Tombstone for a rematch for the grand final.
Cease.
A battered Xerox scrapes through against a pitted Lambda. Hopefully they'll now get the chance to practice their driving. But now it's time for another rematch for the last spot in the grand final. Who's it gonna be? Will it be Tombstone or will it be Xerox?
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
One spot left in the grand final. Who is going to take it? Will it be Tombstone? Though perhaps not with that attack. The panel comes off once more. And there goes the other one. What are those panels held on with? Sellotape? Slamming into the front of Xerox. No real damage there. And again, off of the sides. It hits the side of Xerox, moves it away, but the panel stays on. And there we go. That's a great attack from Xerox. Getting revenge for last time, even though it was their own driving that did them in last time. Trying to come in for a bit of an attack. And again, slamming off the front of Xerox. But no real damage. Superficial perhaps, but not actual damage. And staying away. A couple of hits, but they're not really doing anything as such. Staying away from each other. And Xerox have driven themselves into the pit! Oh, what were they thinking? They were doing so well! Drive forward, slid sideways, tried to get away, and they've ended up in the pit. And after all that, it's Tombstone who make it through to the grand final.
Cease.
The Claw of Trillium and the Bar of Tombstone have gone through to the grand final. Thank you all for watching, and join us next week where our 4 remaining machines will fight to become champion. See you then for more Robot Carnage.